We are back looking at the crypto market, and as the market shows us, XRP is slowing down and it's actually slowly grinding back down. As we talked from last 10 days, the possibility of this breaking either to the upside or to the downside shows us where we are going. Right now, we broke that to the downside, and if we focus on what's your target move, it is 8%. So plot that you are somewhere close to 0.33. That's not a bad target because you still remain above this trend line support, which is in the market from some time. That is positive. Now, yes, you'll have to understand at the same time, Bitcoin shows you there is a possibility it can bounce back to the upside. Now, as you look through the price action, it does actually show like we broke to the downside and we did not happen to retest the upper range, which kind of shows you like, okay, that is something we can look forward to. Now, you take that perspective, you move on to different assets and look like, okay, is that like it's following in the market? Every asset is tending to more because this range is tight and we broke to the downside. We did not get a retest. So that retest can either come directly going to the upside or breaking into the low, making a new bottom here in this range, maybe 16,000, and then bouncing back to test this range. The market can play out in that way too. But right now, as we know, the market is kind of really going through the FUD versus fear scenario for the Binance, and it is really taking a toll on the market. As we look at the dollar, it is breaking to the upside, and we discussed through this. You're going to see dollar moving up, and at the same time, you can look at the silver and other commodities market, which is like inside that trend, which is a corrective pattern. So if this pattern happens to be breaking to the downside, which usually it does, it's a short-term pattern, and you can expect that correction is going to happen as dollar go higher, silver come down. We will also observe that the cryptocurrency market also reflects something same. You go look at like first 100, second 100, you're looking through all these assets and you get to see like, okay, there is some fluctuations happening in the market. Especially you go look at Bitcoin and you say, okay, there is a possible retest which is coming. Then you can look at the altcoin market, or you can directly take on Ether and look on these charts and say like, okay, Ether, it does actually show like comparatively, it's really a little bit weaker. You go up here, you get rejected, you retry that retest, double top, and then you get rejected. Still at that point, you were making a trend line, then you broke that. So now you have one retest which is pending here. Then if it's rejected, it's going to be a bad scenario. But right now it shows like the RSI tends to move higher. So if you extend this line, that's going to be your next. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become next top 10% of the world. So what we are talking about is being prepared. Being prepared does mean like you need to have an understanding of what the market can do in the short run if that volatility impacts you. It's all psychological, it's emotional. But if you're looking for the long run movement, it does show you like, okay, there are different possibilities, different things happening. Now, inside this pattern, the market has been playing it out from some time, so you can really anticipate there is a possible movement to the upside. Now, we don't know whether that's coming this push to the upside or the next one, but you can still assume that the price can actually come higher. It can hit this level. Maybe it's going to come back down. We don't know. But if it breaks this level, now you are looking for something to the upside. But in same route, as you move to the upside, you will also have a resistance which will come at this range, say 1,500. Now, imagine 1,500 for Ether can also act as a psychological balance. Say you bought 1,000, it's 1,500. You may think like, okay, let me take my profits. So that will also be there as the price move back up. So say you're looking at XDC, which is like something similar to XRP in terms of payment asset. But if you're looking at the pattern on a daily, not a 4-hour, it does actually show like, okay, you broke to the downside. Now you're doing the retest, but that does not actually show like you're making a lot of strength here. If you put in a higher low again and then bounce, now that will be a good sign because the market is something showing you which is the price action. And the price action does keep you in a way that you kind of get the clear understanding. Great. Now, this is the trend line from a very long time. And if you happen to break this to the upside, it's a positive term. If not, now that's something bad, because the next major resistance and previous resistance, which will be turned into a support, is a little bit far away for this particular asset. So if you are looking that in the number terms, you're like, okay, if we are getting rejected from here, then we literally have another 50% downside, which is not good. Now, we'll have to look at it for what it is and say like, okay, does that really make a lot of sense? It kind of, because if it's not breaking to the upside, now your move is to the downside. The only factor which suggests like we can break to the upside is the RSI, which shows you like I broke out, I retested, and I bounced, which is a positive thing. So inside the same market, you will get a lot of different assets moving without correlation. Now, majority of the large caps are correlated with Bitcoin, and we observe that the market kind of dictates how it actually moves. So this kind of makes a lot of sense for a lot of us because we are following the market this closely. And if you are zoomed in and you're looking at the market in a way like, okay, we are coming back down, and as we come back lower, the possibility remains the same. We can be somewhere close to 1,400, 14,700. We may even touch 15,000 range before we bounce, and we are still inside the pattern. So it is actually clear for us that we know we are inside this. If we break to the downside, that's bad. If we break to the upside, that's going to be positive note in terms of time and price. Because if you are ready to buy, thinking the price is going to come back lower to 10,000, now if it drops to 14 or 15, it's good. You're slowly averaging and increasing your bets. So keeping that in mind, we would actually put that sense like, okay, inside the market, it's going to be volatile. The way it's playing out right now, it does show there is a lot of fear, even though the long-term scenario of the market is showing you like I'm near our breakout to the upside. So we do want to see like it is going to break higher. But if it actually surprises you retesting this 14,000 range, 14,500, 15,000, that should be the support somewhere here. Say 14,900, 14,800 can be the support, and you may actually see it bounce, which is a positive note. But right now, it's at 16. So it can drop $2,000, and $2,000 drop in Bitcoin can cause pain in altcoins as well. Now, that's when you are looking at on a weekly, which is the macro scenario, which usually overrides the short-term bets. But on the short-term note, if you are really focusing on the price action, now it does show you like, okay, we have a huge possibility that we may retest this range. We did not actually do that retest, right? So ultra short-term zoomed in view on a 4-hour do show that the price may actually go up and then come back down, because at this moment, if you remember, you look at the moving average, when it crosses the downside, you usually see the price going back up. You can go through different charts, let it be 4-hour, let it be daily, you usually see similar price action happening around the time. Here it crossed to the upside, the price come back down. Here it crossed to the downside, price go back up. So here it's crossing to the downside. So you can assume that the price is going to come back here towards 17,000 to test this range as a retest. Now, we don't know whether we are going to continue to the upside, but given the probability, we may come back down. Now, on the fundamental side of this, we are looking at different market news, updates, and how things are moving. And it does actually show like, okay, there are positive things. It's not all negative. If you look at how things are evolving, one side it can be positive, on the other side it can be negative because it's CBDC. But as an XRP investor, you will actually look at the future like this. It is really bright. The way the adoption and how things are moving is bright. But the question then expands to like, okay, what's the economy like? How are you going to live, right? So the macroeconomics actually comes into play, and now we are looking at the governments coming on and starting the stimulus side. We know what happened back in 2021, they did this. So that kind of resonates with the past, and it kind of shows like, okay, now the central banks are trying to bail out. So it's going to be like new money coming into the market, which is a positive thing on the fundamental note. Now, when we say like, okay, most of them don't know about crypto, or you also have to understand, yeah, 60% of US citizens does not own crypto or believe in that because it's high risk, but 90% really don't know what's money or how personal finance work, right? So in that terminology, yes, we are the 1%, but within that, vast majority are speculators. They don't know if you have 20 assets or 15 assets and 5 of them you don't even know what the project is or what they do, now that's a red flag for you, because if it's dropping, now you really don't know what to do. Say XRP, if it's dropping, I know what it actually means. But I've seen a lot of people having different assets where they really don't know what the project is about. And when the price drops, they're doubtful. Should I buy low or should I drop it? That's a question. Now, why is that? If you are sure about the project, then you're like, the price is dropping, it's an opportunity. Do I have cash flow to buy? If not, okay, I'm just patient. But if you're not sure about the project, that's when all these confusion comes in. So always make sure the fundamental analysis always stands with your technical side as well. That supports you morally, emotionally, and psychologically, because this is market. It's not you and me. There's millions of people out there making decisions about investments, and it can be volatile because we are human beings. The decisions are 100% different. So guys, this is going to be a short video, and if you received your value, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'm trying to do a video on every day because the market is volatile, and I know today it's a little bit late, and I'm sorry for that. I'll try to be on time the next day. So that's it for today, guys. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.